All right, good morning. Welcome to Saturday Morning Live. Hey, this is Ann, founder of the eCommerce Business School, coming at you. Good morning, everybody. Good morning to you, Brian.
Good morning, Ann. And I want to say especially good morning to Michael and Joyce.
Good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, we are really excited to have two of our peak performance members here with us today. But while we're here, let's make sure we do a sound check. Let us know what the quality is. And I think we have to go around the block and say, yeah, so we'll say, Brian, where are you calling in from today?
I'm calling in from Redding, California, far northern California.
What's the temp like for you?
I don't know. I haven't been out for a few days.
Oh,
I really don't know.
I'm at 34 degrees. Yikes, but it's going to get nice. Michael, where are you calling in from?
I'm in Bismarck, North Dakota, and we're at 30 degrees this morning.
30. Wow. Joyce, where are you calling in from?
I'm calling from Vancouver, Washington, and it's 47 degrees and misty rain.
Oh, okay. Well, there we get our weather check. So everybody else, go ahead and write in the channel, in the comment section, where you happen to be calling in from. Give us a good morning and make sure that you're, there we are. It's all four sounds good, says Lisa. We got the thumbs up. We're at the top of the hour and we like to be prompt. So we're going to get into a very important aspect of your business that I'm going to say the lion's share of people struggle with, and we're going to help give you a tool to help you get out of that struggle. And the two members that we have here with us today are going to help you become successful as a result of this tool that helps you overcome the biggest struggle people have. There. All right. In the meantime, we're going to welcome you in. Again, go ahead and write in the comments section. Let us know that you're here. Give us some love. And with that, this is again Saturday Morning Live coming at you from the eCommerce Business School. So what we want to do is welcome in all our new members. So big warm welcome to all our new members. We love having you here and supporting you in your journey. Congratulations on your decision. You're definitely in the right place at the right time. We're actually right now in the hottest selling season of the year. Comes around once a year and it's a really, really great time to get going. So a big warm welcome to all our new members, and we'll go on to the next slide, which is our 3 pillars of e-commerce success. The first pillar is to generate cash flow. Jumpstart your business and keep it going. You gotta have pillar number 1 in place, and not all businesses have it. Just gonna say, look for those mechanisms that make cash flow happen quickly. And that's what we have in our business model when we teach our students here at the eCommerce Business School. Pillar number 2 is to automate your system so you can free up your time and scale up your business. And lastly, pillar number 3 is to build your assets, pass on to your family, or sell to investors for a profit. That ends up being a very, very motivating factor for a lot of people, because more and more folks that I'm talking to say they want to have a legacy business. They don't want just a business that will support them, but one that can become legacy and passed on to their children. So let's go on to the next slide there. And we're asking that if you could to please share our Saturday Morning Live with others. I do want to say that the referrals within our program are definitely going up as members are sharing with friends and family, etc., their success with the eCommerce Business School and how much they love the mentorship experience here. So what Facebook has, there's a little feature, there's an arrow right below and says share. And then you can share that on your own personal profile page, send it to a friend, etc., and give them the good news, because there is an unprecedented shift going on, primarily due because of COVID. I call it the fallout. So many people are shifting their careers. They're more open than they ever have been in the past. So share with friends, okay? And next, well, we do this every week. Speaking of success habits, is the weekly Feed the Beast challenge. And then the reason we do Feed the Beast Challenge is we're trying to habituate you into success habits. And so with an Amazon business and e-commerce, it's getting shipments in. Rinse and repeat every week, every week. It should be documented, that it could even be charted when you're sending them in. What was your volume? So you can see at a glance all your performance. But at the very least, at least showcase this, let the members know that you're doing that. And you do hashtag Feed the Beast on Fridays. Hashtag Feed the Beast. So we want everybody participating. And I think we have a long, long ways to go on that one. But with that, the winner for this week is Nicole Nicholas. So everybody give it up to Nicole, and congratulations to all our other participants. We got Better, Bibiana, Dorothea, Ed Dassey, of course, LV, Louise, Ophelia, and Ronald Dupree. Ronald, you are getting really, really consistent, my friend. And I think what happened is when I said, and hey, could you keep doing that? And ever since then he has. So thank you for listening to my request, Ronald. But if everyone could give a high five, shout out to Nicole, in the comments section. High five to you, Nicole. And she says here, the past few weeks, my shipments have gone through a prep center, but today I got a shipment out myself. I like the prep center better. She smiles. Have a good weekend, everybody. So she apparently occasionally ships out her products, but normally it's her prep center. So thank you for posting that, Nicole. We really appreciate that. All right, well, let's get to today's success principle and then talk about the tool that we've created for you. And there's a little backstory. So I share with people, I've been training online coming up on almost 17 years. And so my company, we formed in 2006 with my son, my eldest son, and my husband. My son and I were working together the year before, but we hadn't formalized it as a business. All right. And we were this digital company, meaning nobody came into an office space. We were digital. And it was like, wow, we were adjusting to this new running a business online. And we had these different departments, but we didn't know necessarily what everybody was getting done in any given day. And so my webmaster at that time developed the end of day tracker for my company. And so people would just kind of track on a notepad what they completed for that day. You know, I call it closing the loop. I don't like open loops. I like them closed. So that's what I do as a CEO. I open loops and I close loops. And it means I get work done just like that. There's a task that's open, I close it. I go to the next one, I close it. But I want to know within the team, are they closing their projects? How are we doing? So it actually started with my internal for our company. My previous training company, we offered end of day tracker and we made a customized tool to them. We thought, hey, if this is helping us run our business more effectively and efficiently, well, the same is going to be true of our members. They should have this too. Now I'm going to use a scary word here. Here it goes, Brian. I'm wincing. Here we go. The scary word is this, and I hope you embrace this scary word. It's called discipline. It's called discipline. Kind of like when your dentist says, or your dental hygienist, you know, you really should be flossing every day. Well, my mom had periodontal disease, so hey, I don't want that. You know, failure or fear will drive your actions more than success. That's just how we're wired as humans. I thought, well, I don't want that. So I tracked every day. I flossed every day. All right, but for your business, so the biggest point of failure, bar none, and I've worked with tens of thousands and actually hundreds of thousands of people worldwide. My subscriber list was about 450,000. Anyways, all to say, here's what it is. They fail to be consistent in their business. That's it. If you're scratching your head, what's my problem? You're not consistent. Because consistency will help you start to see patterns. But if you're not consistent, you don't see the patterns, the success patterns and the not so good patterns, right? So this tool is actually for you, the end of day tracker, to help you be successful. And so I'm going to have Brian, if you're able to have the back office opened up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. So we made it when we shifted into e-commerce. Well, naturally, because we had in my previous training company for our students to do that, well, we thought our Amazon sellers have to do the same thing. So Brian, if you want to talk through, because we determined as a team what should be these different metrics that you're gonna document. Do you know in business there actually should be some documentation, and this tool creates a business journal. A business journal. We've had people doing this for 4 years straight, and they have their entire business journal. So you go through that, Brian, and then we're going to talk to two of our top producers with the end of day tracker. All right, so stick with us, everybody.
So what you're seeing here is our e-commerce business school training back office. For those of you that are not currently members of EBS, if you join us, you'll be receiving this training center here, this training platform. And we have a lot of different trainings over here. You can see all of this content for training. Across the top, we have a tool called End of Day Tracker, what Ann's been speaking of. And so it looks simply like this. You enter in your date, and this is intended to be entered in at the end of the day, because you're making a post here that says, what did you accomplish today? Did you meet your goals from yesterday? So I've written in here, team members provided me with their daily reports. All good here. Completed training session number 4. And then you put in your goals for tomorrow. What do you need to do to be successful for tomorrow? Well, begin training session number 5. Order products from 3 suppliers. And you can put as much information as you want in there for your goals. Then, of course, the next day you would be recapping if you completed those goals or not. Below this is a place to track metrics. And for an Amazon seller, the 3 most important metrics that they could be tracking on a daily basis is how many products do they have available for sale. So Amazon listings, 283 Amazon listings, and that would be current. What's available for sale today? How many sales did you make in units? And what revenue did you bring in from those sales? And then we also ask a question here, attended a training session today. And what we find is that people that show up in our community, that includes doing the end of day tracker, attending our training and mentorship sessions, the coaching calls, when they show up on a regular basis, they're more likely to be successful. We see that again and again. So just this reminder, am I showing up? And then you submit that end of day stats. There is a stats history here. You can just simply click on that. And then you can get this view of your progress from week to week to week. Let's get it to open here. Okay, there we go. So you can see through here that from date to date, day to day, and at a glance, you can look at not only the activities that you completed in your business, but also the number of active listings and sales count. And so you can see that growth from day to day in your business. And Michael and I were talking about that, and he was saying, just looking back to see where you've been, that can make a huge difference. There's a study, actually there's a bunch of studies on tracking, what tracking your daily progress does for increasing your results. There's another factor here, and it is one of encouragement, self-encouragement. So here's an article from the Harvard Business Review, Power of Small Wins. In fact, Teresa Amabel has a wonderful little video on this where she talks about when you track just your small daily progress, it builds momentum internally, emotionally. Jocelyn Galay says, most of us make advances small and large every day, but we fail to notice them because we lack a method for acknowledging our progress, and this is a huge loss. Well, the end of day tracker allows you to acknowledge that progress.
Yeah. So we're basically ringing the bell for you. Hey, attention. This is a tool that we created for you to help you overcome what is statistically the biggest challenge, bar none, that people have in moving towards success. And that's staying accountable and tracking your results every day. This, for me, it originated from the sports world. I tracked all my push-ups every day, all my sit-ups every day, my leg lifts every day. I tracked everything because I had no business thinking I was going to be a great gymnast if I was a little weakling. And so I determined, I guess I got to get strong first. Yep, you do, Ann. And so I tracked all that. And it was a lot of fun because I started with no push-ups and then I could do 15 push-ups. Same with you folks. You start with nothing and then you grow. All right, well, let's get to the conversation with our two members that we have with us, Joyce and Michael. And I'm going to start with Joyce first. And what I'd like each of you to do is just share your backstory of kind of a little background of what you've done as an occupation, etc. And then why e-commerce? What got you thinking there? And your decision to join eCommerce Business School. So Joyce, I'll start with you.
Okay, I am retired now. My background is I'm a healthcare provider. I was a pharmacist, and I always in the back of my mind, I had the thought that I knew that business was going to be online and I wanted to do something online as a business, but I had absolutely no clue what to do, no business background whatsoever. And actually, Anne, I've followed you for many, many years. I know you remember like 80-20 marketing and just kind of tagging along and
Yes.
and watching you through that. And at some point, I joined in Memorial Weekend of 2020, and I had somewhere online I'd seen an invitation for this acceleration class, and I think it took me, well, the time it took for me to ask my husband if it was okay that I do this, which was probably about a minute. I just decided that this was a time I didn't even allow myself to think about it, and I have not looked back. This has been like more than I could have ever dreamt for, as far as the trainings and the camaraderie and the people I've met and the journey I've taken has been just absolutely fabulous. And my goal originally was to have my business up and running, at that time, whatever that meant, by the time I was going to retire, which originally was going to be August of 21. And the company that I worked for 21 years decided that they wanted to scale back the department. And so they offered severance to pharmacists who were interested, and it was an offer I couldn't refuse. So I took that, and so I was able to concentrate on my business full time. I retired on Black Friday, November 27th of 2020. So,
oh, wow.
So that worked out really well for me. And my journey has been, like I'm guessing most people, up and down and in and out, and just having the support, someone, people that I knew that would be there should I have questions. And I was never afraid to use that little question thing that comes up on the EBS screen.
Where Loreto and Joanna are on the other side, right?
Exactly. Yes. And they're always so fabulous in answering and responding to whatever our needs are. So I use that, and just the course itself and the people that you meet that are along with you during your journey, and just the friendships that I have created online. And I was doing more background work for my healthcare company. And so I was used to working online because they moved most of
Yeah.
what we were doing at home. So I was working at home already. So it worked out super. I had gotten a desk and I had my office and I was ready to go. So the transition there was very, very easy for me to just move to working on my business full time. That being said, I am, and this is crazy, Michael, but I'm from Fargo, North.
Oh. I love that.
And I have relatives that have lived in Bismarck, many friends in Bismarck. So so I'm telling people where he's from already, but so it's a small world.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
for my business, I have originally not really great at doing diaries and that kind of thing. I did that when I was a little girl, and I'm fairly pragmatic, and I didn't necessarily document feelings and that kind of thing. It was just, what I did during the day or something that came to my head. And I look back and I started the end of day tracker on June 17th of 2020. So I think it was around the time that I got approval from Amazon for my business. Then I just decided to start that. And I incorporated it actually along with the boot camp. I decided to give that tool a try. And originally, I just incorporated that. And so I started, basically writing, what I did, what training I had accomplished for that day, and moving through, the steps that are given to us, and documenting. I was very slow to get started. I first because I like to know what I'm getting into and have a knowledge base before I jump online. I know some people just do great, just do it concept. But it took me till probably September to actually really start sending products into Amazon, because then I started feeling comfortable after having enough trainings under my belt and the 90-day acceleration program under my belt as well with the knowledge base. And so I was documenting daily, again, just basic, what I did for the day. And the three things that I find that it's done for me is, like Ann said, that it's the discipline of it, the accountability, and the measurability. And the discipline, I guess, is how it started. And they say that it takes 21 days to create a habit. So once I got started, not very often did it happen that I thought, well, I'm not going to do this anymore, because it usually takes me 5-10 minutes to just jot down what I accomplished for the day, which is good. I also have a journal. Well, this is I think my fourth journal notebook that I have. So I document it. I write it down, and writing it down for me helps me remember what I did and then acknowledge that, well, yes, I really did accomplish something. And it also forces me to think about, what do I need to get done, and what is the most important thing that I need to do tomorrow to move my business forward, and to ensure that I do something each and every day, even
I want to stop you there on that thought, just to emphasize and underscore for everybody that you're giving thought, and just that effort of stopping to take stock. You got to take stock, okay? And so what the journaling through your end of day tracker allows you to, okay, that's what I got done yesterday. And then you can even look back and go, well, this whole week, wow, I got through that training faster than I thought. Or, oh, I guess I didn't really get through it as quickly as I was hoping. But by doing the journaling, this is highly, highly substantiated, what journaling does for people. It helps you to have a better sense of your gaining your bearings, and knowing where you're at, and not feeling like you're just in a milieu of actions, but that you get more structured when you journal what you're going to do and what you got done. you set a context and a framework, your brain works at a different level because you've done some embedding in a very proactive way and not just, what did I do yesterday? Honestly, how many of you even remember what you did yesterday? It's from day to day to day. And so, just taking stock and doing that. Hold on to your thoughts. I'm going to loop back to you, Joyce. And I also want to hear about, we're going to touch base when I loop back to you is, gosh, what if I don't do my end of day tracker? Because you kind of got a little interesting backstory there. Okay, so Michael, let's hear about your backstory, a little framework of, your background, and then why you got going into e-commerce.
Sure. So, I've been married for 21 years now, 3 great kids. About this time last year, I got COVID, like a lot of people did, and it wasn't as bad as a lot of people. But one of the things that did about it was that I had severe brain fog afterwards. And it really made me nervous about what if I can't continue my regular job every day. Where does that leave my family? Where does that do that? So that was kind of the big motivation for me to take a step in. I looked at several different programs and decided on this, working with Ed to weigh lots of questions.
I think you might have shared that with me. I don't remember.
Yeah. We had a lot of conversations about a lot of and everything, and coming into it, and I wanted to make sure that I was in the right spot and in the right focus, to make sure that I kind of put my best foot forward and was able to build the business. And so when I first got started with it, my wife was less excited about the opportunity than I was. She had, just some general hesitations about everything. And now that I'm only 69 days into the program, so I'm still very, very new. But at the, when we started to see those first handful of Amazon checks being deposited into the bank account, on a every 2-week basis, it really kind of became real at that point. And a lot of the reason that, and I've had businesses before, and some were successful and some were really not successful. And so it was nice to be able to come in here and kind of, get momentum moving rather quickly, I thought. And one of the tools that I use to do that is the end-of-day tracker. And it really, there's a lot of benefits there. And I don't know how much you want me to do for an introduction. But...
Yeah, I want to hear it.
Okay.
Let me just say a couple of comments.
Sure.
I want to say relative to, I'm curious, with your wife not being as enamored, okay, did that serve as a motivator to you that, okay, I really got to prove to her, by having a doubting Thomas, as we proverbially call it, did that actually further motivate you? I'm just curious.
I think there was a factor to that. For me, I think more of it was I wanted to prove to myself that I was still capable of doing this kind of thing.
Yeah.
I had businesses, like I said, in the past, and then had gotten back into, being an employee, and, have been doing that now for several years. And it was a bad day at work, and it was different things going on. And I said to myself, I need to prove to myself that I can still do this, that I'm still capable of this. And it's really helped me to grow that way as well.
Good.
So.
Well, that challenge of the brain fog, I just want to put that out there because that's a pretty common after effect of that. That would be pretty emotionally intimidating that, we gain our value in part by our mental prowess, especially to earn an income, that mental prowess aspect. Because we've had a member who had a subdural hematoma at surgery, and he got in here and he said that really helped him advance himself medically and in his healing process, that he was having to force himself to think. He actually had auditory issues. He had to regain his auditory functions. And being in the program, I'm not saying we're a panacea for everybody with, wanting to recover, mental capacity, but I'm very intrigued by that because, if you don't use it, you lose it. Mm. Correct? I mean, that's a proven fact with neuroscience. But okay, so now I was curious about that aspect, but really good on you for the courage to take stock of your family situation, which is very intimidating. You're the breadwinner and you're like, what am I going to do? I got this brain fog. Well, I have the mental capacity to do this. And good on you for that courage. And I've really noted your consistency. And Brian's been bragging on you a fair amount too. And Joyce, amazing student. I'm going to extol on that when I get back to you, Joyce. So Michael, let's go ahead. What do you, boom, 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 boom. What the EOD tracker has done for you?
So I'm super busy at work all day long. One thing to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing. And then of course I have family as well. Like I said, super busy there too. All the kids have different activities, always running, a whole bunch of different ways. So the one thing the end of day tracker does for me that I didn't really anticipate is it helps me keep on track from a where did I leave off yesterday? What am I doing today kind of point of view, so that I don't have to take the time to kind of go through everything again. I can just jump right back in and get going. The biggest thing, and I've always been one to do a lot of goal setting and different things like that. And so the goal setting aspect of it is huge as well. And it's easy to get tied up in doing activity versus doing things that are productive, productivity, and to focus on what's important. And every single day I'm sourcing products and researching products and doing that kind of thing. And every single day, I'm also trying to take at least one step forward with the bigger business as a whole. And a lot of those things are, for example, now I just recently set up the business as an LLC. I had conversations with insurance people now about getting insurance in place. I've looked at some financing things for more inventory control kind of different things like that, resale permits, different things like that. And that stuff can all be overwhelming if you try to do it all at once. Yeah. So what I try to do is I try to focus on the productive thing of the business, which is sourcing products and shipping them into Amazon and doing that kind of thing. And then also one additional step to grow the business and make it more scalable. And that was the thing that really, just to sidebar on the scalability, that was the thing that really interested me in this, in EBS, is that, the businesses I had before were always businesses that was kind of an army of one kind of thing. So as much as I could do, that's how much got done. Right. And then beyond that, nothing happened. And I tried in other businesses to kind of duplicate myself by hiring employees and doing different things like that. And they just never seemed to be they couldn't do what I did. And so, and my expectations were probably off there a little bit, but it really made me realize that, the next time that I got everything focused and wanted to really focus in on an opportunity like EBS, is I want to make sure that it was scalable. And that's exactly what I have here. And, that end of day tracker too, and Brian touched on this a little bit as well. But just, to look over where I've come in just this short period of time is amazing. I actually looked back, October 2nd, 2021, first sale today. I was like so excited. And then I looked, and on October 8th, I have here, or I'm sorry, where did it go? Sorry. Oh, here we go. Yeah, on October 8th, researching products like a madman. No sales today. That's sad, but it's mostly because I'm running out of inventory because my top sellers are selling out so quickly. So that,
yes.
Then I was able to take that and realize, okay, so now, I need to concentrate on the replenishment portion of it as well. So those little tiny things, those subtle things, you might not notice right away,
yep.
unless it is documented somewhere.
Absolutely. And what I love about what you just shared is you can go back to that day and you're in this emotional state. Those were clearly emotional words. But out of that, but I need to do this and this to remedy this.
Right.
So pain and problem, but solution followed in short order because you are documenting. And business is filled with emotions. Let's not kid ourselves. It's going to be a real roller coaster. But you're documenting it, but it forces you to also be thinking in a proactive way. Well, that's okay. That's what went down, but here's how I'm going to rectify it.
Right.
And so I really do believe, and I love it. Sharon has written, Sharon Sappert. I don't know who's the longest champion of the EOD, if it's Joyce or Sharon. But these comments move so fast, but basically she was saying that that's what changed her whole business is when she started to do the EOD tracker. That was phenomenal. Okay, is that your dog or his doggy? Must be his doggy. Someone's doggy.
Yep,
not
that's
my doggy.
Michael's. Yeah.
Okay, not Joyce's doggy, I'll bet.
No, I don't have a dog. Sorry.
Oh, no problem.
Sorry about that.
No worries, it happens. It's life.
Somebody dared to walk down the sidewalk. So.
Yeah, the dog is like, off my turf. So Joyce, what was it that was the trigger that in your quest to success, you're like, you know what, I really should do this EOD tracker. What was that? And what is it that in part, another factor that, boy, you're showing up or else. So you related earlier in our pre-show talk.
Okay. Yes. The end of day tracker is just, becomes a routine, at the end of the day, and it forces me to sit down and review. And I always write it down on paper because then it makes it easier to type it into the end of day tracker. And see, well, geez, because some days, you're so busy and you're totally engrossed in what you're doing, and you don't even realize what you did accomplish, even if it's something small.
Right.
It's important to, at least be able to acknowledge that, well, gee, I did accomplish something. And then it makes me think about what is the most important thing that I need to do tomorrow to move my business forward.
Yes. And
each day that helps me so much. I can't even quantify that. And doing it, on a regular basis. And, once I got going, I just kind of continued in the back of it's that, well, gee, if I don't do it, I'm going to feel guilty. And so I had that guilt trip on myself to, just continue doing the monitoring and watching my progress, as it evolved. And like Michael, the scaling piece, I learned the first piece was that, well, I was at a place where my products were not selling. So I incorporated from boot camp, well, okay, it's time to walk the shelves of my inventory and check and adjust. And so I did that, and then my products started moving. And each time that would happen, I would do that very same thing. Well, now over time, I have a repricer, and plus I have a VA that manages that. So I've slowly evolved to the outsourcing portion, and having a VA and outsourcing that piece and different tools to help with the business is just huge, because I agree with Michael totally. You can only do as much as you can do yourself. And some people are very successful at building a very large Amazon business just themselves and doing all the shipping and prepping. And I have since outsourced that. I originally had my husband do it, which was wonderful because that was free. And he doesn't do the business with me at all, but he is super supportive. He is my business mind. And he said, he just sees my progress and he's happy that I'm busy.
Keep that woman busy.
Yeah. Because I'm not very good at sitting still and doing nothing. And, I'm not that sit in front of the TV and eat bonbons all day and watch soap operas or whatever they are now. I like to keep busy and be productive as well, too. And we have 3 boys, and my youngest son is kind of my jabber, and it's subconscious, because he said, well, most things are, well, you're never going to use that, or you don't know how to do that. And so I'm kind of, proving to myself that I actually can do this. And I've learned so much about the internet and how to do things. My oldest son is a tech person. He manages a website company. So I reach out to him and he helps me. So those are little mini outsourcing, but my youngest son, I'm proud that I have something that is substantial and it's actually growing. And the end of day tracker just, it has become a routine for me. It's that habit piece. Okay. And then every now and then, but it's very rarely that I think, well, gee, I'll stop doing this now. I can, just write it in my notebook and I'll be okay. And then I keep thinking, oh no, Loreto will see that I'm not doing this and he is going to ask me.
And that's... I want to put in a word about Loreto. He's probably watching right now, by the way. Just so y'all know, on Friday, I believe it's either Friday or Saturday, he writes a beautiful post. He writes a beautiful, oh my gosh, his writing abilities are off the charts. And then he showcases and highlights everybody who's done that, just like we do with the Feed the Beast. So Joyce, are you telling me that you were concerned that Loreto, he might reach out to you and say, excuse me, Joyce, pray tell, what's going on? And he'll do it out of love and concern. I guarantee you, it's all love from Loreto. But that's our Loreto. And so Loreto, there you go. You're helping Joyce stay motivated, because if she were to stop, how about that, Brian? This coaching lives on. That, you've been through VIP, didn't you? As Joyce, you were a VIP student? Yeah. So in any case, just so y'all know that Loreto does do a thorough write-up, but that is serving as a motivator as well. And it's when you have a great coach, that is, I would say he's coaching a lot of people through that post. Michael, are you aware of that post too, that Loreto does?
Yes, I am. The first time that I got a notification that I was mentioned in the world is going on here, and I went and I looked, and that, sure enough, that's what it was. And then, now I look for it all the time.
Yeah. Well, in closing, we're getting to an end here, is just give one final impartation to our members why they should do the EOD tracking tool for their business. So Joyce, what is your final impartation?
The end of day tracker is an integral part of a business, and it's a very, very strong tool that if you haven't tried it, you need to try it, and give yourself 21 days and see where you are with it. If if you are somebody that doesn't need to write that information down, then so be it. But you need to at least try it and and implement it into your business. because it is key. And I mentioned this earlier with Anne, that she had said somewhere along the line that again that they found with EBS that those people that utilize the end of day tracker are more successful than those people who do not. And when I heard that, that was, oh, I'm on board, because I need every tool I could possibly get my hands on to ensure that I'm going to be successful. And thus far, where I am today is 10,000 times ahead of where I ever dreamt I could be. I know that I have a long ways to go, but I'm very, very blessed to be where I am today.
Awesome. Thank you. Michael, final impartation.
All right. The final thing, and the reason that I use the end of the day tracker is really simple. We talked a little bit about goal setting, but it's also about future planning. And I can look at, I shared with everybody that my first sale was October 2nd. I finished the month of October with 4218 in sales. I can look at what I did over the course of those months leading up to that total, and I can say, okay, if I did this much and this was the result, then what happens if I do twice that much, or if I duplicate my efforts now with a VA, or if I, add a tool for repricing, or if I add this, or if I add this, or I find another supplier, or now I have replenishes coming in and I have different things like that. And I can see doubling that and tripling that and multiplying that 10 times or more. And I talked about scalability earlier, and having right there in front of me a blueprint that I created myself with actual results that I put into place, that I was able to do this to get this. Now I can say, what's the next step?
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, business is cause and effect. It's cause and effect. I did this and then that happened. And you watch these patterns. The other aspect is the documentation of your own personal thought processes, because you are becoming CEOs, and how you process things is very integral to the success of your business. Some people will not process at a more mental acuity. They'll go into a more emotional state and not get out of the emotional state. So you need to document how you are performing as a CEO with your own thought processes. Because business is, as I say, a series of problem-solving exercises. That's kind of it. Welcome to business. It's a series of problem-solving exercises. So you've got to be able to do thought processes. So I think, and you two have both demonstrated that you do that in your business. All right, we're going to come to a close here. So stick with us. And we have, Brian, do you want to showcase a couple of comments that have rolled in? Because there's been some amazing stuff here.
Well, there's these affirmations of our guests. Vinya saying, great way to represent us, Joyce. VIP All-Star, 5%er, you are awesome. Betty is saying about the end-of-day tracker will be just exactly what I need because of my confusion. Can't wait to get up and running again. Hey, what a great way to gain clarity is just to write down this simple. What did Joyce said it was 5 minutes or something like that? That's all it takes. Yeah.
Very simple. And Ed is weighing in, bragging on Michael. Michael, you're killing it. Nice work. What a great confidence builder. So,
it
awesome.
helps. It does help so much with organization and keeping everything on track and keeping everything headed in the right direction and on the right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I agree.
Beautiful. All right, we'll get back to our slides, Brian, as we come into a close here. All right, so next week on Saturday Morning Live, that will be on November 13th. And this will be Brian. Is that correct, Brian? You'll be training this?
Yes. So for those of you that have never had a Q4 selling season before, you're in for a treat, provided you have inventory. That's a big factor. You've got to have products to sell. And what I want to show you by this picture here, see that you are here on the date line? Well, that's what's in store for you. Q4 is just now starting to pick up steam. And come Thanksgiving week, boy, does it really start to take off. So we'll talk next week about how to make sure you have all your ducks lined up in a row so you can maximize your profits without having a lot of angst during that Q4 season here as sales take off.
Awesome. So that's next Saturday, everybody. And the e-commerce business school, if this is all brand new to you, you're maybe like how Michael was being challenged with, I'm not going to say that exact scenario relative to the brain fog from COVID, but more so just you went out and researched, Michael. So some of you may be here today as a guest learning about us. And we invite you to go to joinebs.com to do your further research. That's joinebs.com. And our next slide there is hustle and heart is what sets us apart. That's how we roll here, hustle and heart. So again, if you are new to us, go to our homepage to access our free training and student success stories, and that is joinebs.com. So with that, thank you everyone for being here with this edition of Saturday Morning Live. Can you guys give us some love and likes relative to our guests, because we're getting a ton of comments. Great information. Thank you, Joyce and Michael. Great information. Thank you. Thanks, Joyce and Michael, for the motivation. I'm going to get back on track with the EOD tracker today. So I think we're going to get more people using this amazing business tool. But go ahead, everybody, give us a bunch of hearts, likes, and loves here. And with that, truly, thank you so much, Joyce and Michael. We really, really appreciate you sharing your use of our end-of-day tracker.
You're welcome. It's our pleasure.
All righty. So goodbye, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Thanks very much, guys. And thanks, everybody, for watching.